Hello, everybody. This is Jets Chaos. I am Jeremy. Welcome to the channel. And if you watched my video yesterday, you'll see I went on a whole rant and a tear about how Jet fans are judging players, attacking players, because their opinion is the only one that's right. And every other opinion is wrong, even though if we have to make up lies. I don't know if it's lies, but it's just we have to believe what we want to believe. And not having that. What we're going to do is we're going to just try to do some discovery on our own. So what I did was we're going to look at Brock Bowers. That's right, Brock Bowers, the guy who supposedly can't block, the guy who can't run routes. And I want everybody to understand, I understand that I could pull out whatever plays I want. I get it. That's the whole purpose of this. That's what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that you can pull anything you want out of this. And I'll give you my final conclusion later on what that all means for us when we're trying to evaluate players, or even being in a discussion of what players the Jets should select or not select. So let's jump over to the tape. And here we have Brock Bowers is number 19. Here he's lining up to the left of the left tackle. He's not in the slot. He's actually pretty tucked in there. And let's see what happens in this play. Remember, this is the guy who can't block, he can't run routes, he can't do anything. So I'm not expecting much. In this play, it looks like he's... Wait a second, that can't be. It looked like he was blocking. Let's look at that from another angle. There he is, number 19 to the left. He locks in his guy. Let's look at that. Look at the balance. Look at the positioning. He can't block. Whoa, that's not blocking, is it? I mean, the guy almost got by him after a few seconds. I guess they're right. I guess he can't block. Or we could say maybe that was blocking. I don't know. You tell me what that was, because I was told he can't block. Here he is. He lined up again. He's a step behind the left tackle. He likes to do that. They line him up like that. I don't know the technical name for that when they do that, but he's like a step behind the offensive line, but he's still kind of lined up with them. Maybe he likes a running start. I don't know. Or this can give him free access to get space and run out a pass route. But here we go. Let's take a look at this play. You can see him over there. Looks like he's blocking again. And let's take another angle of this play. There he is. You see behind the tackle. He blocks. He's blocking. Or I guess he's not blocking. I don't know. I guess that's not called blocking. But it looked like blocking to me. I don't know. Did that look like a weakness to anybody? It just didn't look like a weakness to me. I don't know. Call me crazy. Here he is again. See what he's doing. Oh, looks like we're going for a pass play. Looks like a nice big gain. Let's take a better look at that from behind. Coming across the field. Yeah, he was open. You see the catch he made? That was a pretty nice catch. Yeah, am I going to say that's an NFL catch? Was it contested? Was it like an NFL play where I'm going to say, let's draft this guy? Maybe not. But was that a good route? I mean, he seemed to find the seam. I mean, that's what you want in the zone, right? He's going against the zone. He comes across the middle. He finds the open space. Quarterback finds him. He makes the completion. I certainly wouldn't criticize him and say he can only catch in space. And the catch wasn't so bad in its own right. Looks like a fast guy to me. Doesn't even look like a tight end that can't block, but, you know, that's just my opinion. There he is up there to the left again. See what's going on there. It looks like he may have made that play. Let's see. It's pitched. Oh, that's him blocking. Look at that. Look at that. I thought he couldn't block. Meanwhile, that was one of the key blocks to make the play. I don't think that's a touchdown without his block. So here's again in motion. Yeah, he can't run a route. That's awful. Did you see how horrible that was? What a horrible route runner. Let's take another look from a different angle to see how bad of a route run that was. Oh, look how bad that was, how he put the move on that guy and ran right straight ahead into the open pit part of the zone and caught the pass. That's just horrible. We should never draft this guy, ever. How can we possibly draft him? Look, that might not have been evidence of a great route, but I don't know how you criticize a player for shooting and exploding into a wide open space and making the play. Anyway, here is he is lined up. I would consider that the slot. He's in the slot, right? He's not that far wide, but he's what? He's certainly not in line. He's in the slot. So Here he goes. Let's keep an eye on him. Let's see if he could do anything because I heard he can't run routes. Yeah, that was awful how he took that turn. Awful, slow, sluggish. And look at that. He can't make a catch in traffic, right? Only when he's wide open. Or wait, didn't he make that catch? That doesn't make sense. Look how he makes this catch, people. Look at that. He had to stop. He had to stop with his right hand, bring the ball in. It's a horrible pass. I'm not going to say horrible, but it's a bad pass. Looked like a pretty good catch to me. That's all I'm going to say. Looked like a pretty good catch. What's interesting is he looks really fast out there. He looks like a receiver, except his blocking looked pretty good before. Oh, no, he didn't. I'm not allowed to say that because his blocking is horrible. A fake handoff, and we throw. And if you know, and by the way, the situation of the game right now is a very tight, a very tight game against Auburn in the fourth quarter with a few minutes to go, and this is all one drive at the end that he's completely dominating and taking over this game in. Wanted to show this. Look at that catch. I mean, are you kidding me? Nothing special here. Nothing to see, people. Nothing to see. Not special at all. Second down. Here he is blocking in a blown up play. Must have been his fault, right? I mean, it was right on his side. Let's look. Let's look. Oh, it looks like he locked the guy up. He's pushing the guy, what, 5 yards? 7 yards out of the way? The play broke up anyway, but can't block? Looks like he was the only one to block on that play. I don't know, but right now we have third down and long, third down and 12 in a 2020 game with 4:18 left. Now, aren't stars are supposed to step up in crunch time, right? Let's see if he could step up. Oh, yeah, let's take it away from him and say that wasn't a good route. It's just that Auburn forgot how to play defense, right? It has nothing to do with his speed, the way it has nothing to do with the way he read the defense. No skill at all on that. Any tight end could have made that play on 3rd and 12, right? That's just the easiest thing to do to execute on 3rd and 12. Let's look at the next play. Lines up in the gap, goes, oh, looks like he's cutting across. And look at that. No explosion whatsoever here, guys. Nothing special. Nothing special in this play, guys. Nothing special. Just any tight end could have done this. Any tight end right now explodes and accelerates between 3 tacklers. Nothing to see. He's not special at all. He's not special. Let's watch him against another team. Here's another game I found some plays. Kentucky. Keep in mind, this was just casually pulling out plays where I noticed certain things. Didn't do anything there. There was no blocking there, right? Let's look at that again. Look what he's doing right now. Can you see it? Even as I go in reverse? Look at 19 to the right. Look at him right here. See him to the right? Watch our guy to the right. He's playing just a step behind and to the right of the right tackle. Can't block. If he couldn't block, how did that play happen? Because it looked like he had a lot of responsibility on that play. Here he is right now, coming out of their own end zone. He's lined up again to the right tackle. Look, I don't know. For a guy who can't block, looked like he blocked there. Let's look at it from another angle. There's 19 coming up. Look at that. What is that called? I think that was called a block. I think that was called a key block. I think without that block, the play doesn't happen. And now finally, here's a deep throw to our guy. And he brings it in for what? What was that? Let's see what kind of gain that was. Remember, this is a guy. Ooh, yeah, that wasn't a great move. Yeah, nothing to see here. Not special at all. Now watch this play. This is really interesting. I'm going to show you something. You're not going to be prepared for this. What happens right now? That's right, everybody. What did I do? Did I make a mistake by putting this in here? He drops a pass. He drops a pass. He drops a pass. Oh no. Why do I keep playing that? Why did I have him drop that pass? Why did I show that play? I'm sure I could have went through other game films, and I got to say it was really hard to find that play because when I was in an argument with Sack Exchange on Twitter, I was trying to find negative plays initially, which shows you how easily you can manipulate film and brainwash people, right? But I put that in because I wanted to, first of all, I didn't want to be completely biased. And the other reason I wanted to put it in is what I was just saying. I want to show you that you can go through any player's tape and you can find negative plays. You can find plays that say, I'm concerned about his hands. I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about that. You can also go through and you can find great plays. Okay, now I heard people say literally, not just inline blocking. People are now saying, well, inline blocking, because one person yelled out the word in blocking. So now everybody's running and hiding behind that now, right? I heard he can only get in somebody's way. He cannot block. That's what was said. He is an incapable blocker. They didn't specify inline, just that he cannot block, that he's not a blocking tight end. Okay. That same tweet and the same people repeating it in the same breath are saying he's not a good route runner. So he's not a good route runner. He can't block. He's not a good route runner. And then he can't make contested catches. Okay. And then to add on to it, he can only catch the ball when he's wide open. But his being wide open has nothing to do with him. Does that sound like a fair assessment? Does that sound like somebody who's assessing a player, or does that sound somebody who is anti the player and doing everything they can to win a completely different argument? Because none of what I said is me saying the Jets should select Brock Bowers. All I'm asking for is honest analysis. As a content consumer myself, I just want honest analysis. When I listen to people, other Jet fans that decide to become YouTube content providers, whatever it is, I'm trusting them to feed me with some content. And I try to do the same, and I try to do it as honestly as I can. I really do. Now, I want to talk as somebody who is not decided one way or the other what he wants to do with the number 10 pick. I am not. I am lost on this. And here's why. As I said in my last video, we have thinness. We have little depth in multiple areas. We are a wide receiver injury away from Lazard being our number 2. We are a card right now, as it stands, a Carter Warren, Max Mitchell away from being a tackle from one injury as it stands. We are a Wes, whatever his hell his name is, that horrible interior offensive lineman that I maybe he's not as horrible, but I don't want to see Wes play, do you? So we have weakness in some spots. Now at tight end, we don't have a lack of depth. We're actually okay. But I mean, let's not get carried away. We don't have a superstar in the position either, do we? I mean, yeah, I like Conklin. I love Ruckert, and I think he's underutilized, but neither of them are established or proven playmaking difference maker. Another argument you'll hear is, well, if we take Brock Bowers, I'm waiting. When's the last time a tight end did anything that was picked in the top 10? Oh, I guess we should never pick a top 10 again, and a top 10 tight end again. No tight end will ever be worthy of a top 10 pick again. If we could go do the draft over, is Kelsey worth a top 10 pick? Is Kittle worth a top 10 pick? Is Gronkowski a top 10 pick? If you can go back and do it over, if you could go back in time and it's your turn to draft and Gronk is on the board, you're not taking him? You have to look at the players and decide. Just because it didn't work out from the past has nothing to do with this player. Every single position has had busts in the top 10. You can make that argument and say no player is worth the top 10 because there have been so many busts at that position. The reality is you do the best you can. Again, I am not screaming or waving a flag to select Bowers. I am a trade back guy. I say that the only way we can really get the depth we need for me to feel good about the season, we need a number 2 pick. We need a first, second, and third. And I think the third round we can get our interior. I think the second round we can get a defensive tackle. And I think our offensive tackle or a defensive tackle, actually defensive tackle. And the first round we can get our weapon or our offensive tackle, whichever is better. Maybe, it just depends. I mean, what I like about Latham in the first round, personally, if we were to trade back, is that Latham has a chance to be a decent guard, definitely at least serviceable, but an excellent guard, serviceable tackle to ceiling is elite. Like he could be a great tackle. We just don't know. And then you get a wide receiver in the second round, or you can get a wide receiver in the second. I mean, vice versa, whatever, flip flop, one half dozen of another. The point is we have needs. We have a need at defensive tackle. We have a need at safety. We have a need for offensive line depth, and we need another weapon. So we need some things. We can't win without them things. We can get lucky and stay healthy most of the year and be fine. But these are things we need. And to me, getting an extra pick is a tremendous deal. I don't want to trade back too far. I still want to get someone really effective in the first round. I wouldn't want to go below 20. I'd prefer like 15, 16, whatever it is, to still be able to get a quality impact guy. I think there are guys in the second round that are impact guys. So even in the third round in certain positions, third round is loaded with defensive tackle, interior offensive lineman. Third round, no problem. Running back. If we want a running back too, no problem. Not as worried about that. I think we could easily, for very little money, sign a respectable number 2 running back. But that's just my opinion. Bottom line is, what I want to say is, don't believe the hype. Listen, everybody. If Brock Bowers cannot block, if he cannot make contested catches, if he cannot run routes and he's not a good route runner, then why does every single ranking of every single site have him as a top 10 player in this draft? Ask yourself that. Do you think there's a conspiracy for this kid? Why is he on every list? You don't even have to watch film. Nobody says you have to watch film. You could sit there and say, well, I'm not going to trust one guy like Mel Kiper, but I can go to Walter Football. I go to ESPN. I can go to all these different football sites, and I could see there's a handful of players that are on top 10 of everybody's list. And maybe I'm not going to sit there and pretend I look at film, but I'm going to say I might make a decision as a fan. I trust that. But you tell me how a tight end who cannot catch a contested catch, who cannot route run, and is a completely worthless and useless blocker. Please tell me how that guy, how do we even know his name? Why is he listed as a first-round draft pick in the NFL on every single site, and in most of them a top 10? Why? It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, you could sit there and say all you want, and you might be right. The Jets shouldn't take Bowers. Entitled to that opinion. It's a strong opinion. There's a lot of other needs on this team. It's not a bad take at all. Not putting down that take at all. But at the same time, why does that mean we're going to go out of our way to back up that opinion to say he can't play? Some guy like us, me, a schmuck like me sitting in Sacramento, knows more than every scout, every analyst out there? People who pay people that sit in studios or like with screens around them, watching every play, analyzing players. Bowers might not go in the top 10. He's going in the top 20. So you're saying some organization with the GM and 20 scouts in a room are looking at this player and saying, well, he can't block, he can't run routes, and he can't make contested catches, but there's a lot of hype about him. Let's just pick him. You really think that's how it works? It's silly. It's silly. I could have taken 5 plays to 7 plays if I looked long enough, and I could have shown you every reason why Bowers is a horrible player. I could have only shown you the best plays, and I could have pumped him up and said he's the greatest tight end to ever come out of college, or I could have done something in the middle. I can manipulate anything I want by the plays I show you. The one thing I can't manipulate is every single analyst out there in the world, all the different sites, all the different people from all the different teams. All the guys that are in the top 20 are special players because they wouldn't be in the top 20. So keep your argument to why or why not, or why shouldn't, or why they should draft Brock Bowers, leave the kid alone, and stop spreading this nonsense that he can't play. Oh, yeah, he could play. Because those plays I showed you on film may have been selected, but they weren't by accident. And by the way, 4 or 5 of those plays were consecutive in one drive with a few minutes to go in a tied game in the fourth quarter. So if you care about clutch players, you might want to look at Brock Bowers. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'm going to take a look at Romeo or Rome. What is it? Rome? Odunze. I'm going to take a look at Odunze. I'm going to break out his tape, find some tape, pull out some plays. We're going to find out. A lot of people are saying he's overrated. They don't think he's going to be good. He's only good because of his quarterback. And some people are saying the opposite. He's as good as Jamal Chase and all the other guys. We'll try to make our own guess and determination. One thing I can promise you is I bet you he could play. I just have this feeling that he can play. Anyway, take care, everybody. Be good. Go Jets.